Yeah. So in the last session, we have discussed about in the last two sessions, I can say that in the last two sessions, we have discussed about the functional interface, default methods, static methods inside the functional interface. Okay. And we have seen an example on the functional interface as well. So what is exactly a functional interface? A functional interface is a one which will be having a single abstract method. How we will be creating a functional interface? You will be using a notation called at functional interface annotation. Okay, and you will be creating a functional interface. What the functional interface will be having? A functional interface will be having the a single static method, and it will be having a any number of default and static sorry, it will be having a one abstract method and any number of default and static methods, any number of default and static methods. Okay, so this is a functional interface we have seen. Okay, so and we have seen the lambda expression as well, lambda expressions as well. So lambda expression which took from the initially the lambda expression was there in the mathematical world. Actually, we took it from the mathematical world and we have implemented in the program in our programming languages. The first programming language implemented the lambda expression is the Lisp is the first programming language which we have seen it. And later evolved into the other programming languages as like C sharp, C object, Python, and currently in Java also we are using the lambda expressions. So lambda expressions are used to support the functional interface actually. So the lambda expressions are designed in such a way to support the functional interfaces actually. Okay, so now here we have lambda expressions. Like what is exactly lambda expression? A lambda expression is the one which will be having which doesn't have any name and return type. Okay. Yeah. So these are we have discussed some of the properties of lambda expressions. Okay. um a lambda expression can have any number of arguments. So every argument will be arguments in the sense any parameters. So every parameter will be separated with the comma. Let's say we have two parameters, okay, in a lambda expression. How we will be writing value one? Let's say we are like taking the integer values. I'll say value one comma value 2. Here, providing the type is would be optional. If you provide, it's okay. If you don't provide also, but based on the context, the JVM is going to provide the the type for you and the lambda expression, and you'll be writing the list of statements which you want to execute over here. Okay, so that is a lambda expression, and yeah, and let's come to this the predicate. Like we have the Java, the Oracle people have given the how to create the functional interfaces, and they as they have already created the functional interfaces using the same approach. Okay, so what are the predefined functional interfaces they have given in Java 8? So they have given a lot of actually almost 40 or 43 predefined interfaces we have. So we'll be learning all those things. In the last session, we have seen the predicate actually. So what exactly a predicate? Predicate is a functional interface which takes an argument of type t, and it will evaluate the condition and it will return true or false. And the predicate will be used in scenario where you want to filter the things, where you want to test the scenarios, you'll be using the predicate. Okay. So, yeah. And like in predicate, we have a, one abstract method as it is a predicate is a functional interface. In the predicate will be having a single abstract method that is a test method, which will be taking some object t, and this will be returning a Boolean value. Okay, so this is an abstract method, and similarly we have the other methods as well. So like we have AND method. If you want to combine two predicates, we will be using AND method. So predicate AND method will be taking the predicate and it will be returning a predicate as a parameter. And if you want to combine the two predicates using R. So if like we have a logical AND and OR operators, right? Like similarly, it will work over here as well. So if you are using R, so if any one condition is satisfying, the entire the condition will satisfy. Okay, when you're using and, if one condition is failing, the entire condition will become fail itself. So based on the situation, you have to use and or. So we have or predicate as well. Okay, and so this will also return predicate, and we have negate as well. Negate will be returning the exactly opposite for our requirement. Actually, let's say if I want to segregate the employees based on the salaries whose salary is greater than 30,000, if I apply negate on that function, so it will be like, instead of like, getting the employees whose salary is greater than 30,000, we will be getting the employees whose salary is less than 30,000. Okay, it's negate is quite opposite. Okay, yeah, and we have a equals is equal method. So is equal method is used to like test two objects. If two objects are similar, it will be returning a boolean value. We'll be taking the object as a parameter. So these are the things we have seen in the last session and the last two sessions. Okay, and we have seen some examples on the predicate as well. Okay, so we have written an example on like checking the voter eligibility criteria. Okay, we are passing the age to the predicate, and we are evaluating the age by writing some condition. Okay, we have seen all these things, right? Okay, in this lesson, in this session, we will be seeing the by predicate. So by predicate, like in predicate, we will be taking the only one argument, right? And it will be evaluating the condition based on that argument itself. Let's say if you want to let's say for example, in the voting eligibility, we were passing the constant value, right? Age eligibility as a constant value. 18 is the age eligibility, which I have passed as a constant value. Okay, now I want to read the value from my console. So then I have the by predicate. What by predicate will be doing is, it will be taking the uh, uh, object and the argument which you are passing. Okay, so it will be something like this. Object it will take, and it will take the argument. Okay, u is nothing but an argument, you can say, you can consider. So the by predicate will be having again the methods. So boolean is a test is a method which will be taking the two params. One is the object, and the other one is the argument. Okay, and this will return the boolean value as well. This will return the boolean value as well. So when you have to use this, when you have to use by predicate, if you want to pass the object and the argument, then you have to go and use this by predicate. Let me take a simple scenario and I'll explain you based on the scenario. Okay, so let's say write a Java program to validate the, let me take the same example, voting eligibility based on the age, minimum age criteria. Minimum age. Okay. Here the minimum age is 19. I'm giving now. Okay. 19. I'm giving. Write a Java program to validate a person voting eligibility based on the criteria like minimum age. Okay, so this is our requirement. We have to write a code for this one. So let me open my IntelliJ and write the code for this. For this one. Yep, I have taken the EC client application. Okay, let me remove all this thing. And in EC client application, I have I've created the EC client application. I'm going to create the one more business class. Okay, I'll say this as a voting eligibility. Okay, so this is a separate class. Okay, this voting eligibility class is having a method called check vote eligibility. It is having a method called check vote eligibility, which will be taking. So here what I'm doing is, first I'll write using the predicate. Okay, then I'll use the by predicate. So you'll get to know like how I'm going towards the by predicate. First, I'll write for the predicate. Okay. So the check code eligibility will be having the predicate, will be taking the predicate. I'll be creating the person object. Okay. So predicate as a parameter. So the person predicate. Okay. And yeah, person predicate. Now this will be returning Boolean value. This will be returning Boolean value. Once we check the age eligibility, we will be returning the true or false. Okay. So now what you do is you have to create a person class. You have to create a person class. Okay. A person would be having some name and age, private, and age I'll give. I'll take only two attributes, person name and age, name and age. Okay. So I'll be generating the setters and getters for this. Let me right click on this one, generate the setters and getters. I'll say generate setters and getters. So it will be generating setters and getters. Fine. Okay. If you want me to generate toString, I'll generate toString as well. I'll be needed in future. Okay. Let me construct the toString as well. So person object is created. A person object. We have a age and name. Okay. So now what we will do, we will use this person. Let me import this predicate. The predicate will be available in java.util.function package. Okay. So now what you will do is you'll be simply checking the conditions. I'll say return person predicate dot. You'll be making a call to okay. So yeah, person predicate dot test, and you are going to check here. So I'll say person dot get. Okay. Okay. Person predicate, right? It is okay. Person predicate dot. It's test of person. We have to pass it. Okay. Sorry. So here, what you do is you have to write the implementation. Not sorry. Over here. So I'll say we have a person predicate, and the person predicate will be. So here you're passing the person details. You're passing the person details with person predicate. Person details. We are like in including the person as well, right? So I'll say return person predicate the test of, I'll say person. Okay. I'll be passing this person. This will return public boolean. It will evaluate the condition, and let me go to the client application. So here what I'm doing is I think if I have to, let me check it first. What I'll do is I'll be is this voting eligibility, right? So voting eligibility. Okay, I'll be creating an object of voting eligibility. Creating an object of voting eligibility goes to new voting eligibility. Voting eligibility dot. I'll make a call. I'll pass the new person. I'll pass the age. Let's say 25 age, and name is, let's say, some ABC is the name. Okay, I don't have the constructor. Okay, I'll create the constructor, no problem. Okay, and let me come over here and create the constructor. I'll create the top itself. Let me create the constructor. Generate um, constructor for all these properties generated. Let's generate the default constructor as well. Fine. That's fine. Now go to the ESIS age eligibility. So now here what you're doing is you'll be okay. Okay, fine. Now I got it. Makes sense now. Now I'll do one thing. I'll create a predicate. It will be taking the person as a parameter. Person predicate goes to, I'll say, I'll write the implementation over here. Hmm, I'll do one thing. I'll talk the person first, then we'll see. Person equals to new person. I'll be giving the age. I'll be giving the name. A, B, C is the name. And what I'll do is I'll be giving the check eligibility, right? So I'll be giving the um, person and the predicate. So I have to create the predicate. I have to pass it to over here. Okay. So now I'll say predicate will be taking a person as an object. So PP. I'll return. Yes. I'm passing the two things, PP and the person. Two things which I'm passing it. Why it isn't it? Here we should write an implementation over here. I think this is the one. Hmm, we will be returning a person. We unpaste it on the top and we need to return the person actually. Okay, okay. This will take the person object. Okay, person one, I will say person one dot get age. Here we will be writing the minimum age. So let's say minimum age is 19. We have mentioned as per our program. Okay. So now what you will do is you'll be passing the this person predicate and the person details. You have the person details. Okay. You have created the person object. Okay. Then you are like created the predicate. Okay. And here you are checking the condition. Here you are writing the implementation. Okay. So you are saying that. So normally predicate will be having a method called test, right? So test will be taking an argument of an object. Okay. So here I am taking an object person as an object. Okay. So here I have already taken the person variable already. So I have taken, that's why I have given the different name for person one. Okay. Person one dot get age. So which is greater than 19. So the age 25 is greater than 19, right? So it will return true. Okay. So here you are passing the person predicate and you are passing the person. Okay. So now the control goes to over here. Okay. And it will test the condition. If the condition is satisfied, so it will be executing our code. So here we'll say this. uh, okay. So here we're directly returning it, right? No problem. Now what I'll do is I'll just print a variable. Boolean is eligible. Is eligible. Is eligible. I'll write eligible. I'll write a if else condition. If is eligible is true, else Not eligible. Yes, eligible. Okay, let's explain quickly what exactly I have done over here. So first, let's say always create your first, your object. I have created the person object. I have given the variables like age and name. Okay, I have created the constructor, generated the citizen getters. Okay, the next thing what it is, I have created the service class. That is a voting eligibility is a service class, which will check the voting for a candidate, vote eligibility for a candidate. Okay, so here what we are doing is the vote check vote eligibility will be taking the two parameters. One is the person predicate, the other one is the person detail itself. Okay, so now what we are doing is we will be using the person predicate and we are testing the person. Okay, when we are call the test method, so it will directly go to the implementation over here. Here we have written the implementation. This method will be executed. Okay, person one dot get age. So what is the age? 25 and the minimum age is 19. Okay, let's see what would be the result. Let's run as a Java application. Let's see the result. So you'll be getting the eligible as a result. See, you're getting the eligible as a result, right? You can check over here. You're getting the eligible as a result. If I change the input to, let's say, I am giving 18 as the person age and name is, let's say, XBC. Okay. So now let's run this one. So now what you will be getting? You'll be getting not eligible. Let's see. Okay. So you're getting not eligible. You're getting not eligible. So now we have, no, over here, what we have did is we have, you can see over here, we have hard coded the value of minimum age eligibility. Okay. Now I don't want to hard code this value. Now, now I don't want to hard code this value 19. So I want to take this value, as a argument. So what I'll do, I'll use by predicate. Okay, let's use the same and let's write the by predicate. Let me create a separate client application over here. I'll say by ECC client predicate. Just giving some name actually. You can give some meaningful names. Okay. So now what we'll do is, so I'm using by predicate, right? As a by predicate, what I told you, by predicate will be taking the two arguments. One is the object, the person details. The other one is the arguments which you want to check the condition. Okay. So here we want to pass the, minimum age as the argument and the person as the object. Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's create an object of person. Person equals to, I'll say new person, and the person will be having the two parameters. One is the age. Okay. The other one is the name. Let's say, so this is the name. Okay. So age is an integer. I'm giving a string actually over here. Okay. It is an integer only. So let's say we have one more person. Okay. I'll give it later. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll be giving the minimum age. Okay. So if you want to use the scanner, you can read it minimum age from your console. It's fine. Otherwise, so for time being, what I'm doing is I'm just initializing the variable over here and I'm passing that variable to the by predicate. Okay. So now let me create a variable called int min age to vote. So I'm giving the 19 as the minimum age. Okay. Now it's fine. So now what you would have to do is you have to create a by predicate and you have to create a by predicate. By predicate will be taking, sorry, this is by predicate, which will be taking the two arguments. One is the object which you want to, test, with the minimum age. Okay. So min age to what? So what is the type of min age to what? It is an integer. So let's just directly give the min integer over here. Integer, integer. Okay. So now what you will do is I'll say by person integer by predicate. Okay, fine. So now so now this by predicate will be having the two methods. Will be having the methods called test, which will be taking the two parameters. One is the object. The other one is the argument. You can see here that. So you can see over here in the top of the test method, you will be saying the first input argument is the first input argument is the object, and the second input is the argument actually. Okay, and this method will be returning a true itself. Okay, so now what I'll do is, so in this situation we needed this by predicate only, right? So the by predicate will be taking two arguments. One is the person, the other one is the min age to voter. So now I'll be passing person and min age to voter. Okay, min age to voter. So as I have already declared this one, okay, because of that only I'm causing it's causing issue for me. Uh, I'll minimize this screen. So I'll say person one, I'll say min age one. Because we have already declared this person one and min my age variables, right? So it is like it is saying that we have already declared it, kind of thing. Okay. So now what you do is you have the person one, and you have the person, and you have the minimum age to vote. Now what you have to do, you have to check the condition. Person one dot get age is greater than or equals to minimum age to vote. Yeah, of course. So if it is what you have to do, you have to return true, or you have to return true. If the condition is not satisfying, by default it will be returning false. You don't need to write a if else block over here. Okay, so got it right. First, what you do, you have created the person with some age and name. Okay, and we have given the min age to what is 19. And what you are doing is like you will be checking the person with the minimum age. Okay, the person is having some minimum age, then only he is eligible to vote actually. So now what you do is you have to pass this person integer by predicate to a function to make a call actually. Okay, so now what you'll do is you'll be creating a separate method over here. Okay, I'll be creating an individual method for this. So I'll say um, validate person eligibility for voting. Okay. So I'm validating the person eligibility for voting. So this will be taking the by predicate as a parameter. So it will be taking the by predicate as a parameter. The by predicate, what it will be taking? So you can see over here, the by predicate will be taking the two things. One is the person and the other one is the integer. Let's copy this. If you have any confusion, just copy it from here. Okay. And just paste it over here if you have any confusion. So for your easiness, I'm just copied from there to here. Okay, I'll say person integer by predicate. And what is the other argument it is passing? So he is passing what is the other argument he is passing? So he is passing the minimum age, right? So just give the minimum age. Min age to vote. Okay, and this is a type of integer. Let me give the integer. Fine. Okay. Now what you will do is you'll be checking the condition. So person integer predicate. I'll directly write this is a by predicate. Right? There is a confusion. It's a by predicate dot. We are calling the test method. We are passing. What are the arguments we need to pass? We need to pass the person. So here I forgot to pass the person actually. So let me pass the person. Person. Okay. Now here we have to pass person, comma min age to voter. Okay, and this will be returning a boolean value. It will be returning a Boolean value, and this is a public, and this is a public method. Okay. So got it right. So we have created a validate person eligibility for voting, which will be taking the three arguments. One is the by predicate, and the other one is the person, and the other one is the minimum age to vote. So we have used the test method, and we are testing the person age with the minimum age to vote. So when we are calling this test method, what logic will execute? It will come over here to your by ECC client application predicate, and it will execute this logic actually. Okay. Now let me do one thing. Let me create an object of this voting eligibility criteria method or voting eligibility criteria class and call this validate method. Created voting eligibility criteria, voting eligibility. So I'll explain you one by one if it is confusing for you people. Voting eligibility dot, I'll say validate person eligibility for voting. So what you have to pass? You have to pass three arguments. So by predicate is the one. So this is the one argument you are going to pass. Okay. And the other one is that you are going to pass the person, and you are going to pass the min age to vote. Min age to vote. Fine. So this will be returning a Boolean, right? Boolean result. I'll say he is eligible. Okay. So for time being, what I'll do is I'll copy this if else condition from my ECC client application, which I have written for normal predicate. So let me paste it over here. Okay. So if he is eligible to vote, so you will be like printing eligible. If he is not eligible to vote, you'll be printing not eligible. So you got it right. Like we are using by predicate to pass the argument. So here we are testing the a person based on the given argument like minimum age. Okay, so we don't need to hardcodely, write the implement. We don't to hardcodely give the value in our implementation. So we are like reading it from. We are initializing the value, and we are giving to the implementation. Okay, so either you can write this way, or you can use the scanner and you can read the minimum age to vote as well. Okay, let me run this one. Okay, let me run this application. So you got the message like eligible. Okay, if I give 6 as a age, okay, whether he is eligible or not, he is not eligible to vote actually. Not eligible. Got it right? The same example I have used for the predicate and the by predicate as well. Okay, I'll explain you once again like what exactly we have done using the by predicate. Okay, so let's first explain the predicate first. Okay, uh, let's explain the predicate first. So we have a person with age and name. Okay, we have setters and we have generated setters and getters and the constructor as well. Now what you have did is like you have created a check code eligibility which will be taking the predicate as a parameter and predicate and person as a parameter. And what you are doing is you are making a call to the test method by passing the person object. Okay, so now the control will be going to our client application where we have provided the implementation. So here it will be checking this condition. So when you are calling the test method, so it will be coming over here and it will be executing this thing. It will be checking that the person is having the person whose age is greater than 19, he is eligible to vote. So in this case, he is not eligible to vote. This condition will return false. Okay, so here it will return the not eligible as a T. Now here the thing is that in the predicate, when you are using the predicate, you are hard coding the minimum age criteria. Okay, you are hard coding the minimum age criteria, And what you do is you don't need to hard code the minimum wage criteria. So for that, what we have done is we have a one more functional interface, which is a by predicate. So by predicate will be taking the two arguments, which will be a kind of like a person object, which will be a object type, and the argument which you want to pass actually. So here we have used the by predicate. Okay, we are passing the person and we are passing the minimum age actually. So you can say person and the minimum age, and we are evaluating the condition. So if the get age is greater than the minimum age, okay, so we will be returning a true. We will be returning a true. And so if it is true, we will be saying eligible to vote. If it is false, if the person is not eligible, we will say that not eligible. Okay. So this is all about the predicate and by predicate. In tomorrow's class, we will be learning no supplier. Okay. So yeah. So in tomorrow's class, maybe we will be seeing that instead of like using the instead of passing this predicate, okay, we'll be you. Sorry. Let me go back. There it is. So instead of creating this, instead of creating and giving the person object, we will be using supplier, and we'll pass the supplier to the check vote eligibility, and we'll see how we will be getting the an object of our person. Okay, that's all. Thank you.